we are absolutely thrilled to be doing this, holding this for you guys. There's a lot of people still coming in, 182. It'd be cool to maybe max out this thing at 500 people, but we are going to get started. So just an introduction. All right. My name is Josh Spencer. We are all Beachbody coaches, right? And you guys know this. You're on this webinar because you are interested in some part, or you were invited in some way to take part in this and listen to what we have to say, what we have to talk about. All of us are Beachbody coaches. All of us are friends. And as you could see, if you rolled around a little early, we like to have a good time. So we're not like super serious people. We can be serious, but we like to have fun. And we all travel and hang out with each other too. So anyways, my name is Josh Spencer, and I'm going to run through a real quick introduction. And these guys were supposed to get me their little accolades so I can, talk them up a little bit, but they didn't give that to me. So I'm just going to tell you, each one of us that are taking part are, we are on an exclusive club called the Million Club, right? And it just means that we've done really well with this business. We've all built very big teams, and we help a lot of people. That's first and foremost the most important. So we have Rob and Chelsea Pearson, and yep, they're waving. You guys could see them. And then we have Mick and Melissa McAllister, Jamie and Steve Ennis, and the bald-headed guy is Keith, and the guy with the ponytail, which you cannot see right now, is Bob. All right, so like I said, we have all been around the business a very long time. We love what we do. And what we're going to do, just to open this up, we are each just going to briefly talk about why and how we got involved in the Beachbody business, okay? And I think we're going to probably speak about 5 minutes each, and then we're going to do about 10 or 15 minutes after we speak and talk about just some of the things that some of the concerns that a lot of people have when they get into the business. And by the way, we're going to say this now, and I will say this at the end of the video too. Whoever sent you to this webinar, okay, after this webinar, go and talk to them. Go right to them, talk to them. Whether or not you want to sign up, if you want to sign up, awesome, fantastic, but go and talk to them. I'm sure they'll be reaching out to you anyways, but I'm going to briefly talk about my story. Then we're going to move over to Rob and Chelsea and just kind of move down the line here. So again, I'm Josh Spencer. I've been involved in Beachbody for about 11 years now. To make a long story short, I thought I had my life absolutely planned out at the age of 21 years old. So my grandpa owned a grocery business. My dad, he owns 3 businesses. I knew at some point that I was going to be a business owner, but I didn't think I'd be doing this, to be honest with you. I got involved with financial advising, with financial planning. I went to school to learn about that stuff, and was going to eventually open up my own business as a financial planner. So I get involved in financial planning right out of college. And honestly, guys, I've been like, I don't know. I thought it was something I would like, and I discovered quickly it's not something that I like. And I just completely had no passion for what I was doing. And the thing is, and anybody who's involved in any type of business, if you don't love what you do, you're never, ever, ever going to be able to, one, be happy, but you're never going to be able to truly succeed, right? And it just kind of, I don't know, I tried to fight to make this business work, and it just didn't work. I was working a lot of hours. I was working about 16 hours a day. I stopped working out, and I fell out of shape. I gained about 25 pounds. I was going through a really, really rocky relationship, and everything, honestly, guys, I felt like my life was just kind of spiraling out of control. So here I am at 21 thinking I have everything figured out, and all of a sudden I don't have anything figured out. My weight was adding up. I was lacking confidence, and I knew that I needed to get myself back on track. And there was this weird moment because I was looking for something that was going to help me get back into shape. And there was this weird moment in 2008, in March of 2008, where I'm sitting right in front of the TV at about midnight eating a bowl of ice cream, and I see this infomercial for this program where everybody's actually working hard, right? And you see all these other programs out there on all these advertisements for like a freaking ab belt or some other stupid diet pills or whatever. And here you have these people just sweating their ass off. And I don't know why, I just could not stop watching it. And that program was P90X. Okay. So I got involved with the program with P90X. I committed myself 100% to the nutrition plan, 100% to the workouts, and literally got into the best shape of my entire life. I lost 25 pounds. For the first time ever, I had legit six-pack abs. And remember, I was this guy. I'm a former athlete. I was a former baseball player in college. I got a scholarship. I was working out every day, and I could never, ever get in this kind of shape. So at that point forward, I knew that I don't know. I just developed this incredible passion for health and fitness. And I've always had a passion for helping other people. I used to be involved, and you guys know this program, but probably, hopefully, some of you guys very well, the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Ever since I was involved in that program, I wanted to do something where I'd be able to give back, right? So to make a really long story short, I decided to get involved with Beachbody Coaching and do my job, my financial advising job on the side, right? That was kind of all right, let me take that back. The Beachbody thing on the side, even though it was really flipped around where I was focusing more on Beachbody than I was my financial advising business, and only because I knew there was a huge opportunity and it was something that I knew I could give back, and I knew that it was in a field that was something I'm incredibly passionate about. So I decided to get involved. I struggled for a very long time. I struggled so bad in the business as a coach that my wife and I were on government support for about a year and a half. Now, listen, food stamps, there's a purpose. We needed them. They helped us with our family. We were struggling so bad, I can't even tell you. But there came a moment, guys, where I remember this so specifically. I walk into this room with my wife and I sit her down on the couch and I just said, you give me support and you just give me time. And I promise you, with this business, with Beachbody, I believe in it so much that I will give you a lifetime of freedom. And that was in 2010. And that year I actually became the top coach in the entire company and the entire business. And then from that point on, you know, we've helped thousands and thousands of lives, not just me. And I'm talking about we as a whole, all of us on this call. We've helped so many people, and that is the best part about it. But at the same time, it's created just incredible financial and time freedom for my family and I. And I just love what I do. I love what I do as a coach. And I get to hang out with these cool people, even though that Mick guy is a real dork sometimes, you know. But but you know, I love what I do as a coach, and that is kind of my story in a nutshell. And I'm gonna pass it to Rob, Chelsea. You guys are next. Bring it on. Share your story, and then we'll move to Mick and Melissa.
Awesome. Thank you for warming us up. And I just felt like I was watching this. Like I'm so inspired by hearing your story again. And I've heard it before. So my name is Chelsea Pearson, and this is my husband, Rob, and we are full-time coaches together. I am 29, but I became a coach at 21, almost 8 years ago. And for me, Beachbody and the coach opportunity really has contributed to the comeback that I was so desperate for when I was 21. And I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this, but I had a very similar trajectory where I thought I knew what my life was going to look like. And at 21, that resulted in 50-pound weight gain, dropping out of private school when I had this beautiful scholarship tied up in a bow. You know, just the trajectory of my life, like Josh was saying, was not adding up to what I thought it was supposed to be. And it wasn't until I dusted off a DVD on my parents' DVD shelf, and that was the workout Turbo Jam, which is a Beachbody kickboxing cardio workout. And over the course of the next year, I lost 50 pounds, and I found my coach on Twitter, and she saw my results and she said, you know, I don't really know a lot about this business, but I know that you have a story to share and you belong in this community. And we didn't look back. And that's actually how I met Rob, who also had a very similar story, but totally separate from my transformation.
Yeah, so we had a mutual friend who is actually Chelsea's upline coach. And I didn't know what Beachbody was. I had bought Insanity on an infomercial, and I had lost 100 pounds on my own using Insanity and using Shakeology.
100. I feel like you always
it's
say that.
it's crazy, and I think that's the thing about this is wherever you're at, if you have like 3 to 5 pounds, like you just want to feel better, or if you have 150 pounds to lose, we've seen, we've experienced it all. And I think that's the cool thing about what we have. But so I had gone through this transformation, and then I met Chelsea, and I remember the very first time that she told me about coaching, and I was like, I had a YouTube channel. I was just sharing all this free information, and she's like, hey, you have the opportunity to be financially compensated for helping the people who you're helping. And I'm like, I don't.
And let's do this together.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. I felt weird about it because I had done it on my own. And then she kind of made me realize that like it's so much easier to do it when you have someone on your side and in your corner. And I just go back and I think, man, like if I had had someone working through all of this with me, it would have been so great. So I just saw this opportunity as a way to pay that forward and impact other people.
And so we started really small because of our respective weight loss. We didn't need to be convinced that the workouts work, and our friends and family didn't either. So organically, people started to say like, "Hey, I want to try this," and we really built our business on the foundation of community and offering support for people who want to make those changes in their life, whether it's big or small. And at the time, we were living in 2 different states, New York and Rhode Island. So it was a 6-hour round trip to see each other. We were both really blessed and really grateful for our corporate careers, making about $50,000 to $60,000 each a year, respectively. And we thought, wow, if I can just replace that and do this full time, that's all I'll ever want. And that was, 5 years ago, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And so that's a little bit about us.
You're muted, Josh.
I'm muted. Mick, Melissa, you guys are up. Sorry.
I don't know if you saw me over here laughing, but I walked into Mick's office.
She asked me to do our deal, which is, in 5 minutes, you're supposed to give like this collective understanding of who we are, how we met, and where we are today. And that's what she tells me. So I write this thing up for 45 minutes, and she just now tells me, because you told me what has Beachbody done and explain all that. And I'm like, that's exactly not what I wrote. So we're just going to wing it. I just wanted to clarify real quick.
So anyway, we've obviously been together a long time. I'm 29, just like Chelsea, and not. I just turned 45 years old. And we too, how ironic is this? We had our life completely figured out. What he did say was that, we've been together, high school sweethearts, and we sat down right when we got married. And
our first year, and just goal planned it all to a T. We had pictures and dream board and little babies and 18 months apart and $100,000 a year minimum, and we would live in the tropics, and we just had it like lined out to a T, all the way down to I retire at 40. That's it. I don't want to work past 40.
All right. And then I became a fitness instructor just because I needed a break from the kiddos. And at the time, the childcare was free. So we, believe it or not, had just filed bankruptcy about that time. And I needed to find something that allowed me to have time away from the kids. And I fell in love with fitness. And Beachbody coaching became an opportunity for me because Chalene Johnson had become my mentor in fitness and then my mentor in business. And she said, you know what, you've got such a heart for helping people. She says, this is just going to take what you love to do in the gym and just explode it exponentially at the time in the United States. Now we're United States and Canada and the UK. So now it's 3 countries. And she was right. I just started doing it initially just to help people because he had a really good job, 6-figure paying job, was working his ass off 6-7 days a week. But financially we were okay. So I was just doing it really for the love of helping other people. But income started coming in because I was helping people. So the paychecks kept getting bigger and bigger. And finally I looked at him and I said, we need to take a walk. And I asked him if he thought that I would be able to retire him. And your thought was?
Yeah, it was good because I'm the numbers guy, and still today, I consider myself the back half of the business, and she's the front half. She's the face, and the posts, and the entertainment, and the education, and I'm the guy that I like to phrase the sentence: I take care of the shit that you don't want on your shoulders. I don't want to drag her down. I don't want to dampen her spirit. I want her to live in happy land. I will take all the crap, and I'll do that. And so, and the relatable factor I want to touch base on real quick is while this transitioning was happening, our marriage was on the rocks. We were going up and down financially, and it sucked. So I want you guys to just take that in because I know you listeners are thinking about this. And Beachbody doesn't have to be the one thing that you go, oh my God, I need to be a fitness person. I got to learn all this stuff. All you have to do is share. All you have to do is have hope, dream, aspiration, and you have to just have that consistency and that people say all the time, that burn in your belly, that fire in your gut, to give a shit, to just break the mold and get out of the corporate thing. So I was stuck in the corporate. So when she started making the money, she took me on the walk. I'm the guy doing the bills. She's like, we're making $5,000 a month. You can quit your job and come home. Well, when you live in North Dallas and you drive a Range Rover and we have a ski boat and all this stuff and a 5,000 square foot house, I'm like, that's cute. That'll pay the house. But we can't come home yet until you at least double that. Like if you double that and I see it going north, I guarantee you I'll throw in the towel and come home. 9 months later, I came home.
Yep. And so within, at the 3-year mark, we were able to hit the million club. We hit the highest rank with Beachbody, and he was able to come home. And he's made up, thanks Josh, for a lot of lost time of having to work so much.
And I was retired at 40, thanks to my wife. It was not part of the plan, but it still fell into the plan.
So, there you go. 5 minutes. We did it.
I'm just surprised that we're actually staying within the 5-minute mark. I mean, we honestly, all of us, if we actually shared our story, because you guys got to understand, these are like micro parts of our story. There's so much more, but I got to stop. Jamie and Steve, you guys are up. You got it. Let's go.
Hey guys, I'm Jamie Innes, and this is my husband, Steve. So we had been in the business for almost 6 years, which is crazy. So I first signed up after saying no to my coach, who is on this call, Chelsea and Rob. I said no to them for 6 months. I said I didn't have time and I didn't have the money. I was a recent graduate of Michigan State, graduated with a degree in kinesiology, and landed my quote-unquote dream job right after college, and I was working 5 different jobs. So at the time, I loved it. I loved the chaos. I was teaching turbo kick. I was a NASM personal trainer, I was a gym manager, and then I was also a wellness specialist for 2 corporate companies. So Chelsea and Rob were like, you're literally a coach. You're just not getting paid for it. And in December of 2012, my dad had a widowmaker heart attack, which is like a 10% survival rate. And luckily, by the grace of God, 6 years later, he's doing amazing. But that was my big aha moment of like, okay, I have this knowledge. I need to get it out there. I need more people to know what is going on. They need to be aware of it. They need to take control of their health. And so after my dad completed his cardiac rehab 3 months later, I was just like, that's it. I got to do this. I need a platform to reach more people, and I need to put it out there. So I was just like, okay, sign me up. Get me the most, like the challenge pack I picked out was Lead Extreme. It was super expensive. Rob's like, you know when Sandy's on sale? I'm like, I don't care. I want you to lead. And I signed up that day, and the rest is just history. And so for me, in the beginning, it was, my 6th job, kind of that, another thing that Jamie did. We were just dating at the time. When he signed up, it was like, hey, babe, I need your soch. And he was just like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And as I started doing this, Chelsea and Rob were like, this could be your full-time job. Like, you could literally do this, just this. And I'm like, that's okay. I love all my jobs. And then about 6 months after that, I was like, okay, I'm all in. Let's do this. And so it was like at the 2.5-year mark that I finally left all 5 of those jobs to do coaching full-time. And then when we got married, when I was 6 months pregnant, that's when his business center that we had been kind of working started really paying off, like his corporate job.
Yeah, and it was kind of the same thing as Mick and Melissa. We talked about when it could happen. Little backstory on me too. I went to school with her, and my degree was in physiology. I wanted to go to med school, and really right before, after I graduated, right before I had to apply, I just completely rerouted. I was like, I really want to go into more business. I think that's what I'm called to do. And medicine was, at this point, it was kind of my last chance to not be dedicated to medicine for the rest of my life. So I peeled away from that. I got a job for a couple of years, and it was fine, and basically simultaneously while this is happening, she worked all those jobs, and this thing started super small. And really what it started was a way for her to personally train and rehab her dad after the heart attack. And the cool thing about it is he is healthy as an ox now, 6 years later, and he started eating cleaner. He's been doing Beachbody workouts, and he's been drinking Shakeology. That's what he's done for six years. And his cardiologist is just blown away at where he's at because of that. So she took that mold, and as a personal trainer, just started doing that one-on-one the same way she was doing it in the gym, except virtually online, right? And people were just checking in with Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, and just built it, just kept building it. And then as soon as we had that conversation where we talked about when I should peel away, I think, and I wasn't getting paid very much, but I think it was about 4 months until we had made that my annual salary up and saved it. And we're like, okay. And so I left, and now I've been doing this for 2.5 years, similarly to Mick, on the back end of taking care of everything that goes on. And then I also work with the top coaches in our organization to help them kind of hit the new milestones and whatnot that we have are experiencing with some of them, but have paved the way for others too. So it's the best job that I could ever describe. It's hard to describe, I think, what we do, and the amount of money you can make with this kind of freedom just by helping people. To me, it's the best thing that you could ever imagine. It's good on every level, or in every aspect. So yeah, that's our story. And I think, I don't know who's next, Bob or Keith.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all, but there's one common theme so far in all of our stories, and it's that we do something we love while helping people at the same time. And honestly, it's remarkable because it's something that you don't find it anywhere, to where you have the opportunity to give back and change lives, but at the same time create incredible freedom, not just with financially, but with time as well. It's a special thing, man. And I hope that you guys watching this, I hope you understand that. And you're going to hear the same thing from Keith and from Bob. And speaking of which, Keith, you're up next, buddy.
You're doing a good job, man, not talking. All of us on here could just go on for the whole entire 45 minutes. So my name's Keith Callahan. I've been a coach for 9 years, and yeah, just being on this call, I'm getting excited and invigorated. And I think it really brings me back to when I got started with Beachbody as a customer, that I had a vision and I had a dream for how I wanted my life to be. And it didn't look that way. And one of the things that really attracted me to Beachbody was it was people like us. It was people that it wasn't people that were just making excuses. It wasn't people that were looking for the way out. It was people that were like, okay, I can get healthy and fit. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of work. And I liked that. Like, I liked plugging into people in that type of community. And then the same thing happened with the business opportunity too. But I got started as a customer, just like everybody else. So I was going through a hard period in my life. I was in the middle of going through a bankruptcy. I had gained weight, and I found solace in P90X. Same as Josh had said, it was, I had seen that little infomercial, and really, honestly, my reaction was how good of shape can you get into just doing some DVD from home? Because I was a gym guy, and, lifting heavy weights, and got in the best shape of my life. But deeper than that, I felt good. I felt alive. And I had that twinkle back in my eye. And for 2 years, my sponsor, Bob, who you're going to hear from next, the two of us and a couple other people virtually, we didn't have Facebook back then. So we would text message each other, our accountability. And yeah, we did that. We did P90X for 2 years. Eventually he got signed up as a coach, and he saw the opportunity with this, but I didn't see it right away. I was a skeptic, and my analytical brain was, I was newly married, just had a daughter, and my analytical brain thought, how much money can you make selling DVDs and shakes? I was the primary earner for our family, and I didn't see it. So I was signed up as a coach for 6 months. I had sponsored 2 customers. That was it. And then eventually something clicked, and just took off with this business. And 11 months later, wound up doing this business full time, got to meet the amazing people that, we're doing this call with, and so many other people. But what this really was for me, I remember a few years back, we did a men's event down in Dallas, and I had shared something on stage there. And so Josh was telling you guys that he won this award, or he won top coach one year. And I remember sitting in the audience watching Josh get accepted for getting this award. And I was really proud for him, but I was sad at the same time. And so he was up there, and his family was there, and his mom and his dad. And I was just like, man, if I won something like that, my parents wouldn't come, they wouldn't be there. And it was a sad moment for me, but it was also this moment of, you know what, that's not the life my kids are going to live. That I'm going to be able to change things, and I'm going to be able to I'm going to have it be different for them than it was for me. And really for me, that's this opportunity for me is so much more than, yeah, I got in great shape. And yeah, we make what I call monopoly money. It's turned into silly money, but deeper than that, I'm able to surround myself with people who are living a certain way, living the type of life that I want to live. And it gives me the opportunity, because I couldn't do it by myself, but it gives me the opportunity to lock arms with people and change the trajectory of my family history. And I know that sounds big and sort of an enormous thing, but that's what it's done for me over the last 9 years. It's allowed me to create a life doing what I want, when I want, with who I want, and do that by serving others and helping others. And yeah, that's my story.
Awesome. Bob, you're up, buddy.
Damn. Well, if you're listening to this and you don't want to sign up to be a coach yet, you just might want to check and see if you've got a pulse going, because I'm just holding my tears back here, waiting for my turn. But, it's just, we keep hearing over and over and over again, you're going to hear the same thing from me. So here it goes. Life-changing stories that we've all lived. For me, this journey started 10 years ago. I was 43 years old. Yes, I'm the elder statesman in this group. 10 years ago, I was 43, So do some math. I must be 170 now or something. I don't know. But I was 43 years old. I was working in my previous career. I was an attorney. I was an attorney for 20 years before becoming a Beachbody coach. I was a litigation attorney, which meant that I lived in the courtroom. I was either behind a desk or I was in the courtroom. I lived on somebody else's schedule. I lived by the court docket. I couldn't decide when I wanted to take vacations, when I wanted to take days off, when I wanted to be at my kids' sporting events or school plays or whatever. If I had trial that day or if I had a hearing, I had to be there. You don't get to tell the judge, hey, I'm sorry I'm late. I was at the kindergarten cupcake fling, and you don't get to do that, right? So that's where I was at, and that lifestyle was really taking its toll on me. I was 75 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was working 60, 70 hours a week, barely seeing my family. I made a pretty decent income. I was making 6 figures, wasn't huge 6 figures, but I was making 6 figures, and I was paying the toll for that weekly income. And it was showing in my life. I was, like I said, 75 pounds heavier than I am now. I was depressed. I was lethargic. I wasn't a good dad. I wasn't a good husband. I wasn't a good community member because I was tired. I was depressed. I didn't like what my day was. And that's when a friend of mine brought this silly DVD set that Josh mentioned it before. My beginning was P90X too. And she said, hey, I got this new thing and you got to try it. And I'll be honest, I laughed in her face. I said, no freaking way am I working out in front of the TV. I had a little bit of pride in it all. I've been an athlete all my life too, played, sports all growing up and everything in school and all that stuff, 20 years in martial arts. And, fitness was always kind of a hobby of mine. But obviously whatever I had done wasn't working anymore. And about the second or third time I was asked, and Keith was, as Keith said in his story, we were buddies, and our friend Kai kind of strapped us both down and said, you're going to do this. And we did. And lo and behold, I lost 75 pounds. But more importantly, I got my life back. I became the dad who I used to be, active and playful and energetic. I became the husband who I used to be and wanted to be, engaged and enthusiastic and present and all of that. If you listen to my wife tell my story, I talk about the 75-pound weight loss and building muscle and all that. And she says, with tears in her eyes, I got my husband back. And that's what the experience was for us that made this a heart thing for me. Right after going through all of that, I got to see some of the people who I created relationships with becoming coaches. And I started to see people living this lifestyle of paying forward that amazing life change that I had just experienced, helping people get their lives back. Yes, the weight loss, yes, the muscles and all that stuff, but more importantly, watching wives get their husbands back, husbands get their wives back, kids get their parents back. And I was like, I want to be part of that. For me, it was the lifestyle. I was like, you can actually earn an income doing this? If that's the case, I'm going to try this. And I tried it. And within 2 years, I retired myself from the practice of law, became a full-time coach. As I said, I'm 10 years into this journey. I've made several millions of dollars as a coach. So if you're on the call wondering if this is real, it's real. And by the way, my lawyer self could not let myself not put this in. There are no guarantees as to any specific income level that each coach earns based on what they bring to the table and the work you put in, okay? This isn't a lottery ticket, but it's real. It definitely is real. And it's important for you to know, if you're listening to this, that there's 9 people here talking to you. We've all made $1 million or several millions of dollars doing this. And more importantly, living this lifestyle. This is what we get to do to put food on our table and pay our mortgages and all that fun stuff. And like Keith said, we get to be with our families. We get to, I get to be the volunteer bus driver for my kids' field trips. I did 20 years where I couldn't even imagine anything like that. That's like part of my success story. It really is, because I get to do that. The full bank account and all that fun stuff is cool, and making multiple times over the income I made as a lawyer every year is cool. But what the real magic is the quality of life that I have as a Beachbody coach and that we all get as Beachbody coaches. So if you're thinking about this at all, and if this is at all interesting to you, you need to follow up with whoever invited you to here. And, whatever it is that's interesting to you, and hopefully it's the lifestyle, because if you're going to really have success in this, it's going to be because you love the lifestyle and you love doing this. All of us on this call, we've got great financial stories, but we've got great financial stories because we love doing this. We love helping people help themselves and be involved in helping create success story after success story after success story. And that's what you get to do as a coach. And I'm sure I'm well over my 5 minutes because I'm the worst at shutting up. But let me end with this, because, you know, this is I think a thought that really captures this for me. When I was practicing law, my very best day was my client's worst day, right? If you go to court and you win, it still sucked. You still were in court all day, right? So my best day when I won in court was my client's worst day. As a Beachbody coach, on my very worst days, I'm helping people. And I'm listening to people tell me how their lives are changing and how they're enjoying life better, how they're living a little bit of a higher quality of life each day because of what we're doing together. It's just a way better way to spend your time and earn your income. That's what this is all about from my perspective. So thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for listening to us. And please, 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 if this is at all interesting to you, you need to follow up on it, because somebody out there in the world is waiting for you to become a coach to reach them. That's what this is about. That's how powerful this is. Somebody out there needs help and they're waiting, but they're waiting for you to become a coach, because we don't know them. We can't find them. And that's why we're asking you to help us, to join us, because we're here to truly, truly bring positive life change to as many people as we can. And our egos, as big as they might be, and I'll admit it, I got a big one. I know I can't reach everybody. I need help reaching more people. And that's what we want to do. So thanks for coming out tonight.
Awesome, man. I love it. And I think this is the best part about it, is just us getting to share our stories. And as you guys saw, we didn't go into so much detail about the business works. That's not what this call is for. This call is just to show you each of us are freaking real people with real stories that just want to help other people with fitness and finances. That's really what it all comes down to. And I think the one thing that we all wish we could have mentioned, but we didn't have the time, is the community, the Beachbody community. Guys, I'm telling you, some of my best friends in the entire world are on this call, and they're all Beachbody coaches. It's truly remarkable, because when I can't even explain to you guys. There's so many people that search for that connection in that community, and I am so fortunate. Every single day, I thank God every single day I was provided this opportunity, not just because of what it's done for my family, but what it's done in the people that I've been able to connect with. It's a really, really incredible thing, and I know each of us could speak on that exactly. But listen, so don't leave yet, because we got about 10 minutes left. We're not going to hold you much longer. We are going to go into some of the things that you guys might be, I guess, sort of concerned about, some questions that you might have about the business. Melissa is going to start it off, all right? And she's going to talk about people who say something like they're not at their goal weight yet. Should they wait until they have their transformation before signing up as a coach? So, Melissa, it's all you.
Yeah, this is going to be really quick, because Rob, you're over 100-pound weight loss, right? We got Chelsea with 50, you heard Bob with 75, and everybody's had a great weight loss transformation. I was a little different. I came into this as a fitness professional, so it was a little different for me. But we've had the honor of our team being a top team. This is our 7th year doing that. And every year that we get together as a top 10 community, everybody sits in a circle and they tell their story. And every top coach has a beginning that normally and usually starts with a fitness journey, deciding to draw the line in the sand and be like, I'm going to take care of myself. And whether they decide at that moment to become a coach and to share their journey along the way, which, listen to me, people are so much more inspired by somebody on their journey than somebody who's already arrived. It's less relatable when you're already there, as opposed to you showing that it's working for you, and you being able to be vulnerable about the fact that days are hard, days are easy, but you're plugging through. Somebody wants to work with somebody like that, not somebody that's already arrived. And just think of it from a business perspective. And this is, I have to give Mick credit for this. He doesn't even know.
Sorry.
He was talking to his friend the other day about, why wouldn't you just decide, if you've got a long road ahead of you with your health and fitness, still, why wouldn't you decide to be a coach from the get-go? Number one, you get a great discount. Number two, you're placing yourself in a great position, nice and early. And even if it takes you a little while to get the confidence to start sharing your journey, guess what? You're already in a great place in this business. So when you do decide,
You can never
Your
back it up.
business has already started, even with you just working on your own journey. So please don't let that hold you back. I promise you, social media loves somebody on their journey, and they will want to follow you and want to join you.
I'm muted again. I'm unmuted now. So next, Jamie, time. There's a lot of people something like, I don't think I
So I
have
said
the time
this
to do
for
this.
6
Take it
months,
away.
and it was just, not true. Everybody has time, and you make time for the things that are most important to you. The beauty of this business is the fact that this is your business. When you sign up, you're opening your own business. So you have the opportunity to do whatever you want with whatever time that you have or do not have. I started my business working 5 other jobs all over the place, didn't even know where I was supposed to be every single day. And I made it work because I worked with the time that I had. My team always laughs because I talk about when I wasn't able to have my phone out and I had one of my shifts that was an 8-hour shift, I would go to the bathroom often with my phone for 15 to 30 minutes. It was a 1-stall bathroom, and you know what? You got to do what you got to do. No, I wasn't doing anything aside from posting on social media or checking into my groups or messaging my coaches. And that's just because that's all that I could do. For me, it was that important, and it was something that really meant something to me. But also the biggest thing is, no matter, if you have a million jobs, if you have a million kids, if you have a different circumstance going on, you can make it work because you can work really hard in the little amounts of time that you have. There are people that are successful that have worked a few hours a day, that have worked many hours a day, somewhere in between. And that's the beauty of this business is you work with your coach to determine a good work level for yourself and what you feel comfortable with and when you could put out there. But we've also seen, I can speak for all of us, we've also seen rock stars crush it from the get-go because they're just like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to spend every extra minute that I can changing other people's lives. And yeah, they do see more success sooner on, in their businesses. But that's the beauty of coaching is that you can do it with whatever time you have. And, if I would have looked at time being an excuse, it is an excuse. But if I would have let that own me, I would not be able to be making my own hours working from home now. You know what I mean? So for me, that was worth it because it was something that brought me so much joy that I craved that time to work on my business. And I think that's just what it comes down to is how bad do you want it? And you can do it with whatever time you have or don't have because it's your business.
Yeah, the power of the time is really not in how much you spend on it, but it's really all consistency. And being smart with your time, or being consistent allows you to really be smart with your time. And from a fitness standpoint, we're working out at home instead of driving across, town to go to a gym. So really this is on both aspects. It's like you can, if you want to make it a priority, it fits perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Keith, last one, buddy. Take it home, man.
Well, I have to piggyback on those guys for a second because I am a complete disaster when it comes to organization and time management and all that. And if I can succeed at this, anybody can. But I think that the number one thing that goes through people's minds, so we're on here and we're all sharing our stories and you're looking at this opportunity. And the question that most people have is, can I actually do this? This is all great. These guys have these great stories, but and for each of us, it's different. Maybe you're thinking, I don't want to share with my friends and family. I don't want to post on social media. I don't have the weight loss. I'm not good at, there's so many different things that go through people's minds. But it really comes down to is, can I do this? And I want you to hear from all of us to you, not the other 250 people on this call, you have the ability to do this business. And the biggest thing that's in your corner, you're a business owner when you come in, but you're in business by yourself. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You have this entire community of Beachbody coaches. Then you're going to have your own team, and we're in it and we're supporting each other every step of the way. And I think for me, that was the biggest thing because going back to my story, I had big dreams and I had things that I wanted to do, but I couldn't get there by myself. And it took being a part of the community, and it took other people believing in me. And really the only step that you have to take right now is making that commitment to say, you know what, I'm going to give this thing a shot. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't even know exactly what it is, but I'm a big believer in it. I'm on this call and I'm listening to everybody else. They have me excited, and I want what the rest of these guys have. That's why I got signed up. I was like, whatever these guys are doing, I want a piece of that. And really the way to get that, you don't need all the answers. You don't need to know how it's going to work out. You don't need to know what the first step's going to be. All you need to know is that there's a community of people here that are going to support you every step of the way. And it's very different than what we're used to. You know, we're not out trying to compete with each other. None of us are on the same teams. We're all collectively working together, supporting each other and helping each other to help other people. So just from my heart to yours, for everybody else on this call, you have the ability to do this. It's just a matter of taking that leap of faith and taking that first step. Like Bob said, like Josh said, reaching out to that person that invited you and saying, okay, what's the next step? What is it that I need to do? Where do I go from here?
Well, that's it, guys. We're done. We went a little bit over, just a tiny bit, but not bad. Guys, thank you. I think this was an awesome call. And just like Keith said, guys, if you're ready to do this, and hopefully, by the way, I don't know how you wouldn't be after listening to this, but if you're ready to do this, you have to go back to the person that sent you here, talk to them. They're probably going to follow up with you and talk with you anyways, probably tonight or tomorrow. But let's get you going. You'll probably be seeing all of our faces again here very soon. So you guys have a good rest of the night. Love you guys. See ya.